Something very strange has started happening recently, and I'm sure you've noticed it too. I was recently in a university lecture, paying attention, looking forwards, as you're supposed to do, and I noticed some people on the front row. They had their laptops open, they were writing, they were typing furiously and talking to the people next to them. But instead of having notes open, instead of, writing about the lecture that we were currently having, I could see that they were in a very, very intense chess match. Now, this has started happening for the last few years, and so many people have started playing chess. And it's strange. I've been on nights out even where, we've been at the pub or we've been at the club even, and people have been playing chess. I've even been at concerts where some people next to me have been playing chess, which, as someone, myself, I love playing chess. I can understand it, but to someone that doesn't play chess, this can seem very, very strange. And the fact that so many people are playing chess these days may seem a little bit strange, but what a lot of these people don't understand is that it's actually very, very easy to get into the top 10% of people with chess. In fact, a recent analysis from chess.com data shows that the top 10% of people are just over 1200 rated. That's not very difficult at all. Whether your starting elo is 400 or 300 or anything around that kind of level, with just a few weeks of serious practice, you can easily get to 1000 and 1200 rated. Now, it may take longer than that. It may take quite a while, but I'm going to show you some games in just a moment of some people around 1200. Now, if you're a very low rated player, you may think that these games are very, very difficult and you'll never be able to achieve a game like this. However, as someone much higher rated than 1200, I can look at these games and see many, many mistakes, and I'll point these out to you as we go through. And you'll be able to understand that actually these people are making a lot of mistakes, and really the main way to get into the top 10% of people that play chess, which is a very, very good achievement in anything, let alone something like chess, is just to minimize your own mistakes, because the amount of mistakes that these people make, if you can just capitalize on their mistakes, then you'll be golden. And so the main thing that I preach to my students that I teach, that rhymed, so it must be true, is simple chess. Just play very simple, very solid chess. Just don't try and get too fancy with it, and eventually your opponent will make a mistake that you can capitalize on. Now, let's have a look at some of these games, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we have a game between two people rated above 1200. That's well within that 10% range. And after a few opening moves, a bit of a strange opening here from black, we have just a normal chess position, really. And here we see, here, for example, a first minor mistake from white. In this kind of position, it's best to usually take the two pieces for the rook. And after a position like this, white actually has two extra knights for the one rook, and when this rook is not very well developed, this is usually much, much better for the side with the two pieces, as white has here. But I mean, that's fine. White doesn't want to go for that, so they don't. Instead, they see here that their rook is being attacked, so of course they move it to a square that is still being attacked. So black is now up in exchange. And after, I mean, they move here to prevent this threat here on f2, so that was a nice spot. But after something like this, black actually just gives away a pawn here, which white can just take here, and again just gives away another pawn for no reason at all. White now has equalized on material. They were down in exchange, but now they've got two pawns back. It's fairly equal, and they've got some very nice pieces here as compensation as well. And so after, a few more moves, um, white here, black here, sorry, just decides to give up a free rook. And I mean, if you take this, should just be easily winnable for white with these extra pawns and this extra knight. So instead of taking, black decides to come here with the rook, and white just starts pushing the pawns, creating some threats. And now this very, very nice tactic. Okay, maybe if you're a very low rated player, seeing a tactic like this might not be within your reach, but after a little bit of practice, a few months maybe, these are the kind of moves you should be able to see fairly quickly. And if not, just start doing some more puzzles and you should be able to see moves like this. So white's able to pick up the rook, And now black just simply blunders this back rank checkmate. And black resigns here. I mean, it's checkmate in one after they have to give up the queen. That's just not very good. And in this kind of position, really, you should be noticing as black, if I just flip the board, you should be noticing that your queen is the only protector of this back rank, and that you should probably play something like this. Now, this isn't a very good position for black at all, and white will probably win this anyway. But we've already seen that you can make big blunders as the winning side here, and you should always try and hold on in these kind of positions. In that game, white actually made loads of mistakes, and I mean, if we just go through it quickly again, we see that they gave up this exchange here. They gave up this rook, and after this, black made a few mistakes of their own. So it doesn't matter that you make mistakes. It just matters that you are able to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes, and that the mistakes you make are a lot more minimal than your opponent's. So even players in the top 10% of chess players are still making these huge mistakes that are very easy to capitalize on, right? You don't need to be a wizard at chess. You don't need to be calculating 10 moves in advance to just be able to simply see that this pawn is hanging. Okay, it was a very nice move here to take this pawn with check and fork this. But again, they were already winning in this position, right? They already had an extra knight in this position. And simply just capitalizing on this move, which I mean, pretty much it's forced to take here with the rook, right? Black is pretty much forcing white to win this game as long as they don't mess it up themselves. And so, okay, it took one very good move from white to just simply finish off this game. But that's just one game. Let me show you another one. So here is the second game, and both players again within that 1200 range, that top 10% of chess players, which again is very doable once I show you guys this game. So here we see a very standard normal opening from both sides. Again, you don't need to be a wizard, you just need to play simple developing moves. After, some normal moves, we see black here just giving away a pawn for no reason, which white takes, and after a few more moves, another pawn that white just simply takes. These are very obvious moves that white is playing, just capitalizing again on black just making a few silly mistakes. All of these players make these silly mistakes, and we'll go on to show you in a few moves white making some of these mistakes themselves. Here, I mean, this is hanging, but they can take back here, but I mean, it's fine. And also, I should also say, instead of coming here, you can just take here, which wins the rook, right? Because they've got to move the queen, you can just take the rook. Um, Again, just these one movers that people just leave hanging because they just don't see them. So yeah, another thing you can keep an eye out for. But the game continues, and another pawn drops. And after a few more moves, here we see white is pinning this knight to the queen. So of course, black blunders their queen in one move, and yeah, you may be screaming at your screen, why did black play this? This is a horrible move, and of course it is a horrible move. Why did black play that? It's very obvious. They just didn't see it, right? These kind of moves get played all the time by people 1200. I go through so many of these games. These are just the first two games that I loaded up in this database, and they both showcase exactly what I'm trying to talk about. You just make loads of mistakes at these low ratings, and after this rook trade, and this just looks like white should just be completely winning here, right? They're a queen up. And I mean, okay, their queen's being attacked. They just need to move their queen, right? Well, of course they don't, and they just push a pawn, which hangs their queen, and black can just take it. And so now black is the one that's just completely winning, right? They're two pieces up. And so black should just go on to completely win this game. And as we see, that is exactly what does not happen. These pawns get pushed up the board. And here, after knight takes, coming here just wins the game, right? Because after here, we can take and make a second queen, and it's check, but we're also attacking both of these pieces, and this should just be just a mop-up job at this point, right? But of course, that doesn't happen. White takes here, which pretty much forces the best move from black, which now blocks this pawn, so we can't make it second queen and win the game. And now, again, we are just two pieces up as black, and should just be able to win the game as black. Here we just simply take this pawn. But of course, Black doesn't do that. They make yet another mistake, losing another piece. And I mean, okay, that's fine. They can lose one piece. They've still got this knight. This still should be completely winning for black. So they move their king in to take this pawn. And after a few more moves, they get their knights in, make a check. And they come here, which blunders the knight. So white takes that, which of course they don't. Because again, these players at 1200 rating make all of these mistakes. Again, if you're looking at your screen thinking these players are really, really bad, you most likely make these mistakes as well. And that's why you're not their rating. And if you simply just polish up your game and make sure you aren't making these simple mistakes, then you will easily be able to beat these players that are 1200. So the game continues. Again, both players just coming in. White is able to take two of these pawns. And after this move here from black, white takes here and black just resigns because, okay, now in this final position, this should just be very easy for white to win. They just push this pawn up. And yeah, after that absolute roller coaster of a game, again, my head just hurts, right? Going through that and trying to understand why these players just lost these pieces so easily, right? This king is defending this knight, so move the knight before you move the king away, right? Just simply come maybe knight here, attack some of these pawns, maybe give some checks to the king, and you're still winning as white in this as black, sorry, in this position. But anyway, guys, hopefully I was able to get my points across in this video in that these people are very easy to beat. It's very easy to get into the top 10% of all chess players around the country. So many people are playing chess, and if you meet 10 people that play chess, chances are 9 of them are making all of these mistakes. So there we go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you would like my personal one-to-one help getting into the 1200 range or even further beyond 1500, 1800, 2000, then make sure to click that top link in the description. We'll hop on a call and see what I can do for you, how we can work together to get you into that 10%, 5%, even 1% range, and just be able to beat all your friends and improve your chess. So if you're interested, click the top link in the description and we can work together. Make sure to also like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Mwah!